People might not even like, say, a Donald Trump, but people are gravitated because they think, hey, man, this is him. This is real.
I think the best thing for people in Hollywood that are entrenched in that world is to shut the fuck up.
Joe Rogan just did what nobody in the industry had the guts to do. He torched Robert De Niro, publicly, brutally, and without apology. And in doing so, he didn't just burn one Hollywood icon, he exposed the entire charade of fake celebrity culture.
Do you think that's starting to affect Hollywood a little bit, to where now if you look at the most successful people, it is the realest people?
Robert De Niro starts talking. I'm like, Jesus, get that fucking microphone away from him so I can enjoy Taxi Driver.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't want to hear. I love De Niro. I love those mob movies. It's like,
I don't want to hear him that he's a moron. I don't want to hear him talking about politics and about Trump supporters, and just shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't think this through. Like, this is, and he's getting yelled at. He's doing an outside press conference. Like, Robert, you're 80 years old. Don't ruin this thing.
It wasn't subtle. It wasn't diplomatic. It was a verbal sledgehammer aimed straight at the heart of everything Hollywood pretends to be. It started with a simple idea that when actors speak off script, the illusion breaks. Rogan wasn't trying to be clever. He was being devastatingly honest.
Yeah.
Having fun, being silly, talking shit about things. And actors are not that. They're weird people, man. And the one thing that's harming them in Hollywood is that they get exposed for being who they really are.
Okay, I believe De Niro, in his case, is finally his true colors, and finally, like, I'm enough to where I can be real, but the real you do see in him, I'm like, go back to being fake. Just go back to being fake. I don't want to see this asshole you really are.
I know. I don't want to hear someone lecturing me that I just, it's so sad.
It's
sad.
Crazy.
The moment they opened their mouths, he said, the magic dies. He wasn't talking about slip-ups or bad interviews. He was talking about the deep, cringeworthy disconnect between who actors pretend to be and who they actually are. And then he dropped the name that sent shockwaves: Robert De Niro. De Niro used to be a symbol of rugged, impenetrable masculinity. He was Travis Bickle, Jake LaMotta, Vito Corleone. He didn't act tough. He was tough. Or at least, that's what millions believed. But now, Rogan says that illusion has shattered. De Niro today, he says, is a different creature. One who shows up at press conferences not to talk about movies, but to shout awkward, confused political rants. One who seems more interested in scolding than storytelling. But this wasn't just about politics, it was about authenticity, or the total lack of it. Rogan called out the entire machine. Hollywood, he said, is built on layers of fakery. On-screen performances, off-screen personas, scripted interviews, polished social media. He claimed that behind the curtain, there's often nothing real left, just empty shells of people trained to smile, cry, and fake their way through life. And the worst part? Most of them don't even realize how lost they are.
Okay, I believe De Niro, in his case, is finally his true colors, and finally, like, I'm enough to where I can be real, but the real you do see in him, I'm like, go back to being fake. Just go back to being fake. I don't want to see this asshole you really are.
I know. I don't want to hear someone lecturing me that I just, it's so sad.
It's
sad.
Crazy. People might not even like, say, a Donald Trump, but people are gravitated because they think, hey, man, this is him. This is real.
I think the best thing for people in Hollywood that are entrenched in that world is to shut the fuck up. Because as soon as they start talking, people, like, as soon as Robert De Niro starts talking, I'm like, Jesus, get that fucking microphone away from him so I can enjoy Taxi Driver.
Yeah, it's hard.
And that's why Rogan made the sharpest contrast of all between actors and comedians. According to him, comedians are winning the culture war because they don't hide. There's no mask, no script, just a mic, a brain, and brutal honesty. Comedians get up there and say exactly what they think. They get booed, canceled, laughed at, cheered, but it's real. They don't need a red carpet or a PR team to feel validated. And unlike Hollywood stars, they don't fall apart the moment a camera captures them being human. That's when he said something that genuinely stunned even his own fans. Talking about De Niro, Rogan said, maybe now he's finally being real. But the real version of him? I'd rather not see it. Go back to being fake. I liked that version better. That line, brutal, unapologetic, and raw, cut deeper than any critique, because it spoke to something millions feel but don't say. Sometimes the mask is better than the man. Think about that. Rogan isn't just saying De Niro has changed. He's saying that the authentic version, the unfiltered, passionate, political one, is actually less likable than the pretend version. It's an indictment not just of De Niro, but of the entire idea that fame equals wisdom, that celebrity equals depth. Rogan flipped the script and said, no, it doesn't. In fact, it rarely does. And that idea hit hard, because De Niro isn't just another aging actor, he's a symbol, a legend, a myth. And when someone like that gets unmasked, it's not just a fall, it's a collapse. Rogan made it clear, we're witnessing the death of the untouchable icon. Fame used to be a fortress. It protected people from criticism, from reality, from accountability, but not anymore. The internet tore that wall down. Podcasts like Rogan's kicked the gate open. Today, being famous is no longer about being idolized, it's about being watched. And when people watch long enough, they start to see the cracks. In De Niro's case, the cracks became chasms. Rogan didn't stop there. He said people are tired of the script. They're done with the shallow interviews, the PR statements, the fake humility. They want truth. They want raw. They want people who bleed and sweat and screw up and own it. And when celebrities fail to deliver that, they fall hard. That's why Rogan's takedown resonated. Because it wasn't just an attack. It was a warning, a cultural siren. He was saying, if you're fake, your time is up. The world doesn't want another cardboard cutout with a verified checkmark. It wants people who aren't afraid to be wrong, to be real, to be messy. And Hollywood isn't ready for that. Not even close. So what happens now? Can De Niro come back from this? Maybe. But only if he learns the lesson. The same one Hollywood keeps ignoring. That in this era, fame without honesty is a ticking time bomb. Sooner or later, the mask slips. And when it does, people won't just walk away, they'll run. Joe Rogan didn't just criticize a man. He called time on an entire system. A system of illusion, control, and curated image. And in doing so, he exposed a brutal truth. Even legends can be unmade, especially when the audience finally sees who they really are. And that's the real plot twist Hollywood didn't see coming. Not from a scandal, not from a tabloid, but from a podcast mic and one brutally honest voice. Joe Rogan didn't just end the illusion. He flipped the lights on and left the world staring at what's really behind the curtain. Because in the end, it's not the fame that lasts, it's the truth. And for the legends who built their legacy on illusion, that truth is coming fast. So if you're tired of the lies, the masks, and the manufactured drama, stick around. We dig deeper, go harder, and tell it straight. Hit that subscribe button, because the next takedown, it might be even bigger.